CBS News Miami.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us. I'm Naja Sherman, and welcome to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Let's take a look at today's top stories.
Always alerting, always tracking. This is Next Weather.
And taking a live look outside, a beautiful shot. Our first fall cold front is moving through, and it brings a drop in temperatures and humidity. Let's get right to Next Weather Chief Meteorologist and Hurricane Specialist Ivan Cabrera.
Yeah, we'll take advantage of it here. It's going to be short-lived as far as the low humidity and temperature, but you know, we can do a lot worse this time of year with temperatures in record territory. Now, we do have this little prefrontal trough that's digging in across the southern part of the peninsula right now. That's bringing us some showers there, but even those will continue to dissipate over the next few hours. There you see them kind of lined up southwest and northeast over to Ocean Reef. Next weather rain tracker will push that activity down to the south, and will dry things out as we hit through tonight. Now, not going to be cold, but you will notice it because the temperatures will be lower, but the humidity will be low, so you get that crisp fall feel in the air for tomorrow. 77 just because it's raining in Homestead, not the front yet. It's over central Florida, but look what it's already done to portions of not just the I-4 corridor, but heading up at Tallahassee right now. 69 degrees, and it's 4 p.m. So that is a true first cold front there, and they're going to be chilly tonight. I think we'll get into the 60s tonight, but not during the day. We'll get back into the 80s, but we'll take it here. As far as that is concerned, the front, though, does return on Friday, so this is what happens this time of year. The fronts tend to do that. They hang out, they stall, and then they come back north. King-type flooding will combine with some windy conditions behind the front to make things a little iffy here across the Keys, particularly during high tides, as the flooding will continue. Some of the rain, some of the wind gusts will be on the high side here through Thursday. Mostly dry day, but winds will be gusting into the 30s here, so that's going to be something that we'll also feel in the morning through Thursday. And then on Friday, the front begins to push back to the north, and that's what's going to bring us the rain chances all over again here as rain coverage begins to spread in that direction there through Friday. That'll likely continue through Saturday, although some of the models now depicting a little less wet scenario on Saturday. Still thinking some showers, but lowering the rain chances because of that. 20% probability still there in the Central America area. That's not a concern. And then this feature here, I don't think it's even going to develop at this point. The chances for that are dwindling because it's not getting its act together, and the upper level winds are going to shear it apart as we head into the upcoming weekend. They're going to just cut through this here by Saturday and into Sunday. No chance of that developing at that point there. So we're looking pretty good. As far as the forecast heading into tomorrow for coastal conditions, here are the next times of high tide, and that's what you can expect. Some minor coastal flooding because of the king tides. How about temperatures tonight? Coolest we've had so far this season. We will be in upper 60s in some areas. Right along the coast will stay in the low 70s. So a nice reprieve from the heat, and also the humidity, keep in mind, will be low as well. Temperatures in the low 80s for the afternoon. Rain returns Friday, Saturday, and then a drier trend Sunday into next week. The temperatures will start warming back up.
7 days of 80s. Looks good. Thank you, Ivan. Voters decide. Early voting in Florida begins in just a few days. Today, election officials are busy testing voting machines. It's to make sure that everything is working correctly. CBS News Miami's Terry Hornstein is outside Dade election quarters in Doral, and she has more on how testing is going so far.
Well, that testing, it just wrapped up here at Miami-Dade elections headquarters. They say they are ready to go ahead of Monday when early voting starts here in the county.
I come from a country that they don't have voting.
Martha Gonzalez says she realizes how important it is to cast her ballot this election season.
I'm voting, that's it.
Gonzalez came out to the Miami-Dade County Elections Department Wednesday to watch staff test the machines.
Every single voting unit that's deployed for an election is fully tested, but in this particular test, we take a random sampling and we do the test in front of the public.
This process takes about an hour. Each machine here tested for accuracy, something the supervisor of elections calls a confidence test.
We do everything exactly like we would in a real election. So we take real ballots on actual equipment that we're deploying. It really does show the public that they can be confident in the election.
The supervisor of elections says it is important to be transparent.
We invite the public. In fact, we want the public and the candidates to come. With transparency becomes confidence, and with confidence you know that you can cast your vote and know that it's going to be cast properly.
And she says security is always tight.
We take great measures both from the security, cybersecurity perspective and also physical.
She tells us she's ready for in-person voting to get underway.
So I'm feeling pretty good in this county. we're going to have a very smooth election.
For Gonzalez, voting, always important.
It's very important, so please come out to vote now and always.
So early voting also gets started in Broward and Monroe counties on Monday as well. Now, if you'd like to take a look at your ballot ahead of time, you can do that online to check out the issues that will impact you. We'll tell you how to do that on our website, cbsmiami.com. In Doral, Terry Hornstein, CBS News, Miami.
With Election Day just around the corner, time is running out to win over undecided voters. Today, former President Donald Trump is in Doral for a town hall and taking questions from Latino voters. And that's as former President Trump courts voters. Vice President Kamala Harris will sit down for an interview with Fox News today. CBS News Miami's Natalie Brand has the latest on the final sprint to Election Day.
Former President Donald Trump courted women voters in an all-female Fox News town hall Tuesday in the battleground state of Georgia.
I want to talk about IVF. I'm the father.
You don't hear that every day.
I'm the father of IVF, so I want to hear this question.
Among the topics discussed, IVF and fertility treatments, with reproductive health a key campaign issue.
We're totally in favor of IVF.
Trump is making an appeal to Latino voters at a town hall in Florida today. With less than 3 weeks until Election Day, both candidates are going after key voting blocks.
We will win. We will win. And thank you both. But it's going to be hard work, though.
Vice President Kamala Harris focused on black voters, especially men, in Michigan Tuesday.
Ours is a campaign that is about fuel from the power of the people.
Some community leaders say her campaign still has work to do.
We have tens of thousands of people that do not intend to vote and don't give a damn about Kamala, Trump, or anyone else because they don't see how this campaign, this candidacy makes one bit of difference in their lives.
Today, Harris presses her case with Republican voters who aren't sold on Trump. She's rallying in a key swing county in Pennsylvania with former GOP lawmakers. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
And join us tonight at 7 as CBS News Miami's Jim DeFeedy moderates a debate over Amendment 3. That's the amendment that would make recreational marijuana legal for those 21 and older. During Hurricane Milton, tornadoes became a major issue here in South Florida and all across the state. CBS News Miami's Ted Scouten has more on the impact they had on our communities.
When the outer bands of Hurricane Milton moved through South Florida, our biggest problem turned out to be tornadoes, and that left a mess behind in many neighborhoods with destroyed homes, downed trees, and lots of damage. The National Weather Service now confirms that we saw a record number of twisters on October 9th. There were 15 tornadoes. The previous record was 7. And we also recorded the strongest tornado to ever hit the area. There were 2 EF3s. That's like what you would see in Texas and Oklahoma.
Luckily, I had the warning from TV and the text, and we ran into the tub, and it was so noisy when it happened, and you just don't know what to think. I think it's not something I'd ever experienced, so it was brand new for me.
126 tornado warnings were issued that day in Florida. 55 of them alone were in South Florida. We're speaking to a homeowner impacted by one of those tornadoes coming up later. In Wellington, Ted Scouten, CBS News Miami.
Now at 4, a South Florida man is behind bars accused of attempted murder. Police say 29-year-old Javier Polo was riding a motorcycle. That's when he was cut off by a 61-year-old woman driving an SUV. This happened along Kendall Drive and Southwest 137th Avenue yesterday. The pair got into an argument, and that's when police say Polo pulled out a gun and shot the woman in the leg. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. Polo stayed at the scene and was later arrested. The Taylor Swift Eras Tour is coming to Hard Rock Stadium, but you don't need a ticket to experience all the action. Find out how after the break. Welcome back to CBS News Miami's 4 p.m. Quickcast. Now to the crisis in the Middle East. The U.S. is warning Israel to let more humanitarian aid into Gaza or face the consequences. In a letter to Israeli leaders, the Biden administration warns it could cut off military aid if the situation doesn't improve soon. CBS News Miami's Rami Encinido has the latest from Tel Aviv.
The fight for food is growing across Gaza, with hundreds of thousands of Palestinian civilians desperate for help. The U.S. says Israel slowed or stopped almost 90% of aid across the tiny enclave last month as its military campaign rages on.
Everything is stacked against us at this point. It's an absolute horror day after day.
The Israel Defense Forces released video showing aid trucks rolling into northern Gaza Wednesday, saying they are filled with food, water, medical supplies, and shelter equipment. That move may be in response to that forceful letter Washington sent Israeli leaders here in Tel Aviv just a few days ago, setting an ultimatum. Let at least 350 trucks into Gaza every day or risk losing U.S. military aid.
It's possible to get humanitarian assistance into Gaza. We know it can be done. We know that the various logistical and bureaucratic obstacles can be surmounted.
Humanitarian groups say aid is at its lowest level in months, with dire shortages of fuel, medications, and blood for hospitals. Israel's bombing raids have forced the closure of medical centers, shelters, and even bakeries. U.S. officials say Israel has 1 month to lift restrictions and improve the humanitarian situation or risk losing weapons from their biggest ally and supplier. Raimi Inocencio, CBS News, Tel Aviv.
Thousands of Swiftie fans are gearing up for the Eras Tour this weekend. Chopper 4 was over Hard Rock Stadium, and that's where they are prepping for all the action. CBS News Miami's Trish Christakis reports from Miami Gardens.
Hey guys, it's Trish Christakis outside of Hard Rock Stadium before the Taylor Swift Mania weekend begins. Today is day one of those merchandise stores opening till 8 p.m. today. So we have been seeing hundreds of people since 10 a.m. coming in to buy that merchandise. Now coming up at 5 p.m. here on CBS News Miami, I spoke to fans that came over from not over the state, the country, but the world. People came out of the country to South Florida for this concert, and you will hear from them starting at 5 p.m. For now, at Hard Rock Stadium, I'm Trish Christakis, CBS News, Miami.
How exciting. And for everything you need to know about Taylor Swift's Eras Tour this weekend, just go to our website, cbsmiami.com. That's your CBS News Miami Quickcast. I'm Naja Sherman. Stay tuned for more news right here on CBS News Miami, and have a great day.